Shadow Diggersby gonna fire off the Scorching Sands. Rather than concede the farm down, we pivot into Samurott, baiting out Superior. The opponent with 2 Protect Shields, we're forcing the nuke. Does the opponent respect the damage? Welcome back to the channel. We're still currently testing out all the latest released Shadow Pokemon, and today it's the time of Samurott. This mono water type Pokemon, on paper, shares a lot of similarities with a top tier meta threat. We've also got in its shadow form Feraligatr. Both have access to a 4 EPT move, meaning they're going to take only 10 turns to pace to that very OP move of Hydro Cannon. The similarities do not end there. Both have access to a coverage move for one of its weaknesses, grass types, at 55 energy. Feraligatr of course runs Ice Beam. Samurott runs Megahorn. However, Samurott actually has a better move. Megahorn is 2.0 DPE, whereas Ice Beam is only 1.63. Some of the main differences between the two is Shadow Claw, a ghost type move, is one of the best quick moves in the game, whereas Fury Cutter, despite being a decent one-turn move, Bug is a dreadful offensive type in, meaning it offers very little fast move pressure. Most people that tend to use Shadow Feraligatr often save it to Protect Shields. It's a very glassy Pokemon. Shadow Samurott's even more attack weighted with less defense, meaning it's even more frail. Today we're going to be testing out Samurott in the safe switch position. We're going to lead Jumpluff as our anti-grass type, the grass type that beats the other grass types, with Diggersby as our closer. Without any further ado, let's get into the battle! And in game 1, we are not off to the best start, leading Shadow Jumpluff into Shadow Pidgeot. We safe switch into Samurott, baiting out Gallade. Gallade of course can one-shot us with a Leaf Blade, but the opponent makes a mistake, playing to CMP. Despite me losing this charge attack priority, I'm more than happy to invest a Protect Shield, wanting to get the opponent all shields down. Despite Jumpluff being dreadful into Pidgeot, Shadow Pidgeot is a very glassy Pokemon, so potentially 2 Aerial Aces might knock him out. What's even better is there's a decent amount of health left in this Gallade, which means we're going to come in and get a very nice energy lead, getting towards the 2 charge moves required. The opponent fires off the close combat, wanting to minimise my farm. Back out comes Pidgeot. Let's see if 2 Aerial Aces will actually be lethal. The first one doesn't quite do half their health. We pivot into Diggersby, baiting out Annihilate. In theory, we're triple hard counter, but this game isn't quite over yet. We're going to fire off the Scorching Sands. Scorching Sands does some decent damage and gets the attack drop. The opponent farm up, play 2 CMP. However, they're going to have to close combat Ice Punch to knock us out. The opponent throws the Ice Punch, and once again, we're going to come in and use the remaining health to farm them all the way down. Of course, I am going to invest the Protect Shield here, knowing Pidgeot's nowhere near a move. We shield up the Ice Punch, commit to that full Fairy Wind farm down. We throw 1 Fairy Wind and the Aerial Ace. We're now doubled up. The first one isn't quite going to knock out. We could have thrown the BM Energy Ball, but as this opponent's running triple shadows, we're going to be quite respectful, throw the Aerial Ace and take that game. GG's to that opponent. What the heck was going on with my voice there? Believe it or not, I'm actually 35, although it sounds like I just hit puberty with that voice crack. In the next battle, we see some Shadow and Shadow Cry and Quagsire into Jumpluff. Most opponents here don't bait, but I don't like to shield as we do survive the Stone Edge. The opponent then pivots out into Corsola. It's debatable whether I should throw that Energy Ball. The thought process there was, after landing that damage, I've used Shadow Diggersby recently, I'm trying to get my head around it. After landing that damage, I'm going to be able to fire off 1 Scorching Sand and then fully resisted quick attack farming down, leaving at 100 energy to potentially threaten the returning Quagman. Another reason I threw that charge move is I don't want the opponent to potentially save this Corsola for later. I just want to remove it from the field of play. The opponent going to fire off Power Gem after Power Gem. Diggersby going to get that farm down, and you can see we do reach that 100 energy required, aka double Scorching Sands. Back out comes the Quagman. Absolutely no reason to bait. We fire off the first Scorching Sands, which goes unshielded. We look to fire off the second. The opponent actually catches it onto Drapion. Drapion does not respect the damage. We're then going to farm up, looks catch the Aqua Tail onto Samurott. I actually played someone on my Discord. I didn't see the poison sting there, but he said he had the energy for the crunch, but thankfully it's only an Aqua Tail, which is a very easy tank. Shadow Samurott does survive a crunch, not particularly well, but regardless, that game was over. Just RPS for the win. Heading into the next battle, we see the battle of the grass types. The opponent opts to safe switch into Dunsparce. I'm going to farm up a small amount of energy, giving me an energy lead for later, and then send out Diggersby. You can see even the Shadow variant of Diggersby is still very thick. It looks like if you've got a very good rank Diggersby, mine's like rank 21 or something like that, it looks like you can actually survive 3 drill runs and the residual rollout damage. The opponent fires off the next drill run, which doesn't quite do half my remaining HP. We're then going to return fire with the Scorching Sands. I'm going to go for a cheeky undercharge, looking to minimise the farm from the returning Superior. It's still lethal, and out comes Azumarill. Rather than concede a farm down, we pivot out into Samurott, baiting back out Superior. And we are full sending. Does the opponent respect the damage? Megahorn! Ah, this opponent really does like to ruin all of my fun. Not only do I not want to concede a farm down against the Azumarill, I know Jumpluff with a shield advantage, you can have no problem cleaning up. We've got super effective charge moves and a shield advantage for the two remaining Pokemon. We can Aerial Ace the stupid Grass Snake, and we can of course Energy Ball the Azumarill. Superior, much like me, does have access to Aerial Ace, which will hit me for super effective, but it's a non-stab move and doesn't do all that much damage. We actually make the catch back onto Diggersby, because why not, saving two shields intact. The opponent then sends out a Azumarill, look for the bubble farm down. Diggersby says no, reaches the Scorching Sands. Scorching Sands won't do much, but does get him closer and closer to Energy Ball range. With two shields intact, this game should be over. There is no reason to bait. My only lose con is potentially letting them catch. However, using a 2-turn move into a 3-turn move. If I allow that to happen, I probably shouldn't post content. You can always see the bubble animation. We go straight Energy Ball. The opponent invests that Protect Shield, and we just got to be mindful the catch attempt will be coming. The opponent going to farm up, anticipating me throwing an alignment, which I'm never going to do. We Fairy Wind farm down Superior, and the opponent concedes the match. Heading into the next battle, once again, we see the Quagman in the lead position. We've seen a Stone Edge's survival, so I'm never going to shield this. I think if you bait, you're a lunatic in this matchup. The opponent's actually got Sludge Bomb, very cool tech. We pause a turn, ensuring the Energy Ball lands on its intended target. You could bait here if you want, as everyone seems to shield, but that's not really my playstyle. We then say switch into Samurott, checking for any grass type. This is enough for a Sludge Bomb, so I will respect it, as I'm very, very glassy. I'm then going to overfarm, look to fire off the Hydro Cannon just before the next Sludge Bomb, but the opponent actually just throws an Aqua Tail. Aqua Tail actually does quite a lot of damage. Samurott, little buddy, where is your bolt? I'm then going to overfarm, fire off the Hydro Cannon before the next Aqua Tail, removing Quagsire from the field of play. Out comes Galarian Corsola. Of course, if I was a Shadow Gator, my quick move would be super effective, whereas Fury Cut has resisted. You can see we're getting the spinning wheel of death, and I end up throwing that on alignment, which super pisses me off, because I could have actually got a back-to-back Hydros. It's not meant to be. Jamie Finn, I'm not really sure if that's user error or lag, but regardless, Jamie, brush up your playstyle. The opponent sends out Diggersby, we land the Scorching Sands, get in the attack drop. We farm up, make a very random catch. If this is the Scorching Sands, they weren't baiting, that is triple resisted and does absolutely nothing. The opponent's had enough, they're out of there, and we take that game. Heading into the next battle, we see Jumpluff into Shadow Gator. Most opponents bait the Hydro Cannon here, but rather than risk it for a biscuit, we're just going to catch whatever they throw onto Samurott. You can see that actually does quite a lot of damage. That is a resisted Hydro Cannon. The opponent is going to outpace me to the next one. Despite this being a Samurott showcase, it's going to be used as the 3rd and 4th shield. Don't worry, it's going to get some more screen time later. I'm going to wait out my clock, send back out Jumpluff. The opponent very, very weak to grass. As out comes Diggersby, we fire off the Energy Ball. Energy Ball does big damage. I don't tend to use Jumpluff too much, to be honest. But as far as shadows go, it's very bulky. Despite Fire Punch getting buffed, I think it was like last season, perhaps it's this season, I can't remember. It doesn't really do too much to us. We fire off the next Energy Ball, forcing the Protect Shield, and then pivot out into the mirror. I'm always going to make sure I've got residual energy here, so I can outpace that Gator should it wish to return. The opponent actually send out Superior. This is definitely one pro of running the Shadow variant of Diggersby. Especially on Quick Attack, you can see 2 Fire Punches with the residual Quick Attack actually knock them out. This is almost certainly an Aerial Ace bait, but I don't think any bait will be saving this opponent's fate. We invest the Protect Shield, return fire with the next Fire Punch, forces the opponent's final Protect Shield. We're able to reach the next Fire Punch. Diggersby is a superior counter confirmed. Switch time is back up, so we're going to pivot back out into Jumpluff. The opponent tries to catch the Aerial Ace onto Gator unsuccessfully. All they catch is the Energy Ball to their face. Gator gets one shot vanquished, back to their Pokeball. Diggersby re-enters the arena and the opponent concedes the match. GG's and thanks for playing. That was the first set, the first 5 battles I played, and I somehow managed to go 5-0, but trust me when I say this, it goes downhill quickly. In the next battle, we see Hypno in the lead. Cool to see this Pokemon. It is an OG Go Battle League mon. In the early seasons, it was pretty good. It's a real box of tricks of access to a wide variety of moves. If you ever tried to use it and get the moveset you want, it can take like a million TMs. I was really hoping they don't have Ice Punch, but of course they do. The opponent then save switches into Skunk Tank, and I send out Diggersby. The Trailblaze is going to be super effective. The Poison Jabs are resistant. I thought the opponents never ever Poison Jab farming me down. Well, if you look at my health, they definitely could if they want to 2-shield. We fire off the Scorching Sands, forcing a Protect Shield. This again is going to vamp up their attack, so I'm going to invest the Protect Shield and look to force the opponent all shields down or just remove them from the field of play. Let's see what the opponent wants to do. Again, we don't bait. Full send the Scorching Sands, thankfully going unshielded. Out comes Drapion. That is a Diggersby from half health getting resisted, a combination of poison jab and poison stung down, which is brutal. We send out Samurott, make the catch, back onto Jumpluff. The opponent fires off the crunch, which picks up the knockout. The opponent then tries to make the catch, back onto Hypno. We heavily overfarm, fire off the Hydro Cannon. Hydro Cannon, of course, will be lethal, and it's going to be a race to the double up. You can see, even if the opponent go for the Aquatail bait here, no bait will be saving their fate. It is an Aquatail. We're going to farm up to the double Hydro Cannon. You know the drill. The first one will be forcing the opponent's final Protect Shield, and Shadow on Shadow Crime, the second, will easily be enough to get the dub. GG's to that opponent. Samurott putting in work, although the jury is still very much out. In the next battle, we see Wigglytuff in the lead. I'm kind of forced to stay in, as if I say switch into Samurott, the Fury Cutters are going to do like absolutely nothing. Although if I land this Energy Ball, I could potentially pivot. I'm actually going to farm up, try for the Icy Wind catch onto Samurott, which didn't go particularly well. We're now going to hit with a Swift. Swift just does so much for a non-stab move, and out comes Marowak. The opponent's already down one Protect Shield, so I'm anticipating them letting this go. But of course, when you're going to run this absolute nonsense RPS tap bullshit strategy, yes, I said what I said, of course they're just going to double shield. I send out Jumpluff, then get baited, and things have gone from bad to worse. This, of course, is going to be double Mud Slap. Wigglytuff, double Mud Slap. How has this become a very viable strategy in the Go Battle League? I really hope Niantic shake the meta up a bit. Moves like Astonish, Mud Slap, Charm are just so annoying and make this meta so unenjoyable to play. There's the second Mud Slapper. And unfortunately this team composition, because Talonflame is very much a real Pokemon, almost all Gastrodon run Water Pulse, which is going to land for big super effective damage. We actually survive. The opponent here has stopped tapping. The reason they've stopped tapping is they know that I want to farm them down. I'm going to fire off the Fire Punch, then also stop tapping myself. As soon as I see my switch timer pop up, we are getting straight into Jumpluff. I actually make a mistake here. I was thinking Aerial Ace is a shit move. It probably won't knock out. However, I'm not going to be able to reach an Energy Ball on Aerial Ace. Would Double Ace have been the play? I'm not sure if it would be lethal. It probably would have, and at least I should have attempted it. I think I just let Tilt get the better of me. Oh man, I hate this game at times. Despite the opponent running a strategy that really does weigh it in, we're going to say GG's and move on to the next battle. We see Superior in the lead with a Gator Safe Switch. Takes him 7 quick moves to reach the Ice Beam. I take 7 to the Energy Ball, so I get a free opportunity to full send a nuke. Of course, I think the opponent's always shielding that. You could bait if you want, but it's not really my play style. We then say switch into Samurott. This is a regular variant of Gator, and still it looks like 2 Hydro Cannons remove me from the field of play. Honestly, Shadow Samurott is just so classy. One of the plus sides is that we've got a monstrous attack stat. We're 129 compared to Gators, around 124, meaning I can farm up, throw the Megahorn on the CMP tie, and maintain alignment. Unfortunately, we just miss out on the Hydro Cannon. That's neither here nor there. The opponent sends out Carbink, aka Stinky Binky, and it's going to be RPS for the dub. In the next battle, we see the Kentucky Fried Chicken, Bird of Death. Dreadful for me. Superior Say Switch. We are full sending. Again, the nuke gets shielded. Maybe I should start to bait a bit more often, but I think if the opponent called that, I would be in such a rough spot. My thought process in full sending the nuke is you guarantee the one shot or force that shield. With shield advantage, perhaps Diggersby can cook the back line. Diggersby Talonflame isn't anywhere near as bad as you'd expect. We're just going to tank whatever they throw here. Fire off the Aerial Ace. Aerial Ace picks up the knockout, and let's hope 2 shield Diggersby can do something. I really needed Diggersby to be decent into what's in the back. We're kind of in a losing matchup against Talonflame, and Azumarill also isn't advantageous. Scorching Sands doesn't get the attack drop. An attack drop there would be very nice, meaning the bubbles did less damage. Unfortunately, it wasn't meant to be. Shadow Diggersby still doesn't hit hard enough. You can see 2 Scorching Sands that don't pick up the knockout. We are going to be able to outpace to a Fire Punch, which I am just going to throw. Fire Punch, despite being resisted, will be lethal, but I still look pretty cooked. We're in the 1-to-1 shield. Back out comes Talonflame. Yeah, I don't think this one's going to end in victory. They're on Flame Charge as well, which certainly means this game is signed, sealed, and delivered. Perhaps if I had Acrobatics, we'd have a chance, but I doubt it. We'd probably die to the Incinerate damage. We've still got a shield, I recognise. Unless the opponent has a heart attack, we won't be winning, and I don't want to win like that anyway. GG's to that opponent. In the next battle, the tough leads continue. Corviknight, not great for Jumpluff. We're going to say switch into Samurott. The opponent tries to make a catch onto Azumarill. So if I was a gate of an energy lead, I'd probably be grinning ear to ear. But Samurott with access to Fury Cutter, yeah, this just isn't good whatsoever. The Fury Cutters are doing nothing, whereas Gator's neutral Shadow Claws really add up over time. I was really tempted to shield this, however I think what's the point? Because even if I shield that, the next Hydro Cannon with the Fury Cutters won't knock them out, so I may as well just think, fuck it, let it go, and hope we can do something with Diggersby again. This is a double super effective move. It's going to do a lot, but it's survival. There's no real point in shielding that, as of course we're dreadful into Corviknight. I overfarm, fire off the energy ball. Can Diggersby cook this back line? No, it cannot. That is definitely RPS for the loss. In the next battle, we see Dugong. We're ABA weak to ice. We save switch into Samurott. The opponent stays in. They actually allow me to fire off the Megahorn. Of course, you could bait here because Dugong users love to shield. However, I don't, and I'm actually quite grateful I didn't, as we actually land the Megahorn. Certainly put in a range, but potentially we can deal with it later. Out comes Annihilate. We fire off the Hydro Cannon. Oh, Hydro Cannon and the Fury Cutter just doesn't do enough damage. If I could flip switch, perhaps we'd be in a good spot, or at least force a shield. I do neither. Jumpluff re-enters the arena. If they've got Ice Punch, so be it. A lot of Shadow Ape do run Ice Punch. I'd personally run Close Combat. It's kind of up to you. We send out Jumpluff, commit to the farm down, back out comes Dugong. We may as well catch the super effective move rather than tank a double super effective move. The opponent sends out Marowak. We've got a chance here if we can force a shield. But if the opponent's smart, which it looks like they are, shout at this opponent for not being a potato and recognise they're just going to save all the shields for Dugong. What's my win con? If I can reach a Fire Punch, we can throw Aerial Aces. We certainly aren't doing that. So I guess my win con is going to be the fast move beatdown. In hindsight, I probably should have shielded the Icy Wind, but it feels bad shielding a move from Dugong as that thing hits like a wet noodle. You can see I've got a massive health advantage. However, their health isn't budging, mine quickly declines, and I get 2 shield flexed on. Oh man, things are not going great. In the next battle, we see a Samuro. This is somewhat of a better lead. I'm a grass type, they're a water type. The issue is though, an energy ball, very survivable, whereas a double super effective ice beam will instantly put me into the red. I was going to one and catch on Samurott. The opponent instant throws, which forces my shield. Then send out Drapion. If you're wondering why I've gone Samurott here, we've seen just how bad it is into a Samuro, so I'm just going to sacrifice it. As they're non-shadow, we do survive a crunch. The opponent gets the defense drop. However, if they commit to a Poison Sting farm down, we're going to reach double Hydro. Hopefully the opponent commits to it. The opponent does commit to it. They don't get there. Samurott holds strong, putting in work. The opponent double shield, and I'm very, very happy with that situation. If this was a Shadow Drapion, 2 Aqua Tails, despite not getting the same type attack bonus, would come very, very close to knocking out. It looks like this opponent potentially doesn't even have it. They fire off the crunch, then send out a Samuro. I don't want to switch lock myself against whatever's in the back. So what I'm actually going to do is just remove him from the field of play, keeping the option to stay in or switch, leaving it up to me. We've got a shield advantage with Diggersby and Jumpluff. The opponent sends out Guzzlord, and we are going to pivot out into Jumpluff. Guzzlord does have access to Sludge Bomb, so if they farm up to it, I'll potentially think about respecting it. However, this opponent makes my life super easy, not even farming up to it. We can easily tank any one move. The opponent sends back out Drapion. Drapion going to get Aerial Ace at the face. Aerial Ace won't do too much, but should put him in a range where he can quick attack farm down. After a string of rough games, this one looks like it's going to end in victory. The opponent fires off the crunch, remove me from the field of play. As long as we can quick attack farm them down before they reach double charge moves, we are off to the races. Do they reach another move? They do not. They do get the defense drop, but that defense drop will not save this opponent. We fire off one quick attack and the next Scorching Sand, and finally return to winning ways. GG's that opponent. In the next battle, we see the same lead. The opponent does me a favour, switching out into Charger Bug. A perfect opportunity to farm up energy, making that Azumarill matchup much cleaner later on and punish them with Diggersby. Another reason I'm running Jumpluff today is not only do I want it to beat the other grass types, I also want it to be quite good into fighters. Diggersby dreadful into fighters, and Fury Cutter is resisted by fighting. I think looking back, I wish I would have run Venusaur, as Venusaur of course is a good anti-fighter as well and just hits harder overall. If I hadn't just posted Superior yesterday, I think Superior would also work. 2 different options if you want to try this team out yourself. Superior or Venusaur, I'd definitely give the nod over Jumpluff. I'm always so underwhelmed whenever I use that little cotton ball. Returning to the commentary, Azumarill re-enters the arena. We fire off the Scorching Sands, make the pivot into Samurott, baiting out Superior. Once again, with full sending, does the nuke finally land? Does the opponent respect the damage? They do not! Samurott finally gets his boom. It's only took us 19 minutes, but well worth the wait. GG's that opponent. Heading into the next battle, we see public enemy number 1, aka Bastidon or the stupid brick wall. We say switch into Samurott, out comes Victory Bells, unsure if I can make the Megahorn. The opponent actually called a Hydro Cannon. I was really hoping they shield. Most Vic users just shield everything. This is looking brutal. Another negative with Jumpluff is most grass types are pretty decent into Bastion, but our sub-flying typing does us no favours. The opponent opts not to throw a charge move, recognising they want to keep me switch locked. Good play on their part. Can you believe a grass I'll use with half a brain cell? We land the energy ball, make the pivot into Diggersby, and there's grass type number 2. We're running Flyer, 2 things weak to grass, and we're facing Grasshole. So I guess you're wondering why I don't top left. Well, Diggersby, we've already established, can 2-shot superior with Fire Punch. We're going to see if we can make something happen. We correctly shot the Frenzy Plant, which is a good start. Fire Punch, force our Protect Shield back. Diggersby, going to take the extra here. I don't want to play to CMP in case the opponent opts not to shield. I'm then going to overfarm before firing off the Fire Punch. And then we're going to try for the CMP sack. Switch timer is slightly misaligned. We go for the CMP sack. I look to fire off the Aerial Ace. Game, why did you give me a Fairy Wind? We're still in the races though. Let's go Jumpluff. Let's go little buddy. The opponent commits the full smackdown farm down. We will reach double energy ball, but despite me being a shadow, it looks like 2 energy balls just simply will not get the job done. This next energy ball will get them low. Even with the opponent fully farmed down, they can never ever hold 2 moves. With that thought process in mind, I'm going to fire off this Aerial Ace, looking to put in a range where we can quick attack farm them down. We survive any one move, unless they're running Flash Cannon, which I doubt. The opponent fires off the Flamethrower, pivot back out into Superior. Superior going to be straight in and straight out. We're going to quick attack farm down that stupid brick wall and emerge victorious. My God, did that feel good. In the next battle, the tough leads continue. We see the Kentucky Fried Chicken, Bird of Death with a superior save switch. I was going to farm up, throw the Megahorn on CMP. The opponent actually has fire off the Aerial Ace. Regardless, we're going to obtain a shield advantage or flip switch. To be honest, I think shield advantage is better for me, as we're going to need some kind of advantage to beat that Talonflame later. We send Jumpluff back into the arena. We can tank 2 Aerial Aces. They can actually tank an Aerial Ace as well, which is fine. We're going to farm up. I do end up throwing on CMP. Despite it being quite poor, it doesn't really matter as it wouldn't knock out anyway, so he's always going to have to tank that move. I thought about undercharging here, but I don't want the opponent to switch out, saving this superior for later. We do manage to get the full Fairy Wind farm down, and I am spamming the switch. Please, please, I'm praying to them Pokegods. Have something weak in the back to Diggersby. Be like Magnezone or something. I did respect the potential Brave Bird and dip. The opponent just fire off a Fly, which is good information to know as it looks like they don't have Flame Charge. If this is a Fly, I can survive. The opponent once again do fire off a Fly. I'm then going to farm up, fire off the Scorching Sand. The opponent now receiving the energy for the Brave Bird. This will be lethal. The opponent invests that protection. We pivot back out into Jumpluff, making the catch. Did we catch the Brave Bird? Yes, we did. Diggersby comes in, looks for the quick attack farm down, which we get. Show me Magnezone. It's not Magnezone, but it's Morpeko. We'll take that Morpeko straight in and straight out, and we take that game. In the next battle, we see another Kentucky Fried Chicken, Bird of Death. What is going on? Have I got the Poke hard account treatment or something? We say switch into Samurott, and out comes Toxapex. This is an absolutely dreadful matchup. Again, Gator would be decent, well not decent, but better. At least the Shadow Claws would hit for neutral, whereas Poison does resist Bog. Again, we're not flipping this matchup. If they brine and farm down, we're in trouble. The opponent full send the Sludge Wave. It's actually going to be a CMP tie to Energy Ball and the Sludge Wave. Jumpluff, pretty defense weighted, but Toxapex, one of the most defense weighted Pokemon in the game, so we're able to win the charge attack priority. Energy Ball picks up the knockout, and once again, we're praying Diggersby can sweep the back line. Talonflame re-enters the arena. Again, we will respect the Brave Bird and dip. Again, we get baited with a Fly. The opponent then sends out Superior. To be honest, with a 2-to-1 shield advantage, I'm just going to recognise the game's over, not waste the time, and move swiftly on. In the next battle, we see another Talonflame. Oh boy, this is getting a joke at this point. Out comes Morpeko. The opponent allows me to throw first, reaching the Hydro Cannon. The opponent actually allowed me to reach yet another Hydro Cannon. I am certainly not complaining. This absolute mad lad is actually looking to fully Thundershock farm me down. Well, of course, we know Jumpluff is absolutely dreadful into Talonflame, so we're going to use it as the 3rd and 4th shield. The opponent falls in the Aura Wheel. You can throw another one. I've got no interest in shielding this. And once again, we're relying on Diggersby in the closer position. The opponent doesn't pivot. We're going to be able to fully farm him down. The opponent does pivot, sending out Gator. We've got a chance here. We're going to farm up, throw the Scorching Sands. Scorching Sands, of course, goes unshielded. We get the attack drop. The opponent looks for the double up. If that quick attack actually knocks out, I think we're cooking. The quick attack does knock out. Back out comes Talonflame. Come on, give me an attack drop. Give me an attack drop, please. Scorching Sands doesn't get the attack drop. However, the opponent farming up a bucket load of energy, allowing me to reach the next Scorching Sands, giving me another opportunity for that attack drop. The opponent at 100 energy. Is it a Brave Bird? Is it a Fly? I'm calling it. It is the Fly. Diggersby able to survive. The opponent should be committing to the Incinerate farm down. They didn't do it. I'm going to throw one quick attack. If Talonflame still on my screen, which it is, we're going to knock him out with the Fire Punch. Fire Punch, despite being resisted, does pick up the knockout. We quick attack farm down Morpeko and escape with a dub. GG's that opponent. If the opponent would have actually incinerated there, I believe I lose. Because as the opponent doubled through, I snuck the quick attack, meaning I could then throw the Fire Punch without taking the Incinerate damage. In the next battle, we see Steelix in the lead position. I'm going to pause, ensuring this energy ball lands on its intended target. Shadow on Shadow Crime. This actually does a solid amount of damage. We know we can survive yet another Psychic Fangs, and we're going to either take the 0 shield scenario or obtain a shield advantage. At this point, I'm thinking we're going to get a 0 turn switch after landing this energy ball. If the opponent shields this, we're going to go straight into Samurott and look to fire off, winning the charge attack priority. My god, non-stab Thunderfang doing absurd damage. We're able to win the charge attack priority. The opponent actually 2 shield Steelix. There's no real point in shielding this. We'll just take too much damage of a minus defense. So what we're actually going to do is put it all on Diggersby once again to clean up. So I've used Diggersby recently. I'm trying my best to get my head around it. And I think today's showcase is a much better showcase of what I can actually do. It took me a while to get around its bulky playstyle, not hitting hard enough. Speaking of which, we're going to farm up, bank all that energy, make the catch, back onto Jumpluff, give me the best chance of sweeping the back line. We're going to need to land multiple charge moves. The opponent not wanting to concede a farm down, send out Wigglytuff. Wigglytuff actually gets 2 shot by a Scorching Sands with the residual quick attacks. So what I'm actually going to do here is go for a very cheeky undercharge, hoping I can farm down before the Swift's reached. The undercharge looks like an absolute beauty. We get the perfect farm down. Show me something we can nuke in the back. Out comes Drifblim. Thankfully, normal double resist Ghost. We're going to be able to get off this Fire Punch before the opponent debuffs us. We're actually able to get off the double Fire Punch before we get debuffed. Can Diggersby 1v3? The thick little bunny, holding strong, these Astonishes are doing literally nothing. But the issue is, now we're debuffed, the next Fire Punch doesn't look like it will knock out. The opponent continues to stay in, don't make the catch. This Fire Punch won't quite be lethal, but they're certainly in quick attack farm down range. Of course, I'm just going to shield this up. If I see Steelix enter, I'm going to spam the move instantly. There's the Steelix. I recognise Drifblim will die to quick attack. I can't quite believe it, but a big fat bunny able to sweep an entire team to end today's video. GG's, and thanks for playing. So my thoughts on Samurott. I was really hoping it would be a monster in the meta, similar to how Gator is. Unfortunately, it isn't. Its main issue is his access to Fury Cutter. If it gets a good quick move, it'll be cooking. Remember Gator, before it got access to Shadow Claw, was trash. It just needs a good quick move, and it'll be a top meta threat. Have a bug, dreadful offensively, it just isn't getting the job done whatsoever. I think today was a better showcase of Diggersby. A lot of people say the Shadow isn't worth it, but I think it more than held its own and put in some solid results today. So if you're enjoying the content, smash that like button. If you're new, consider subscribing if you like your battles featured on my channel. The link to my battle submission form is down below. And as always, a huge thanks to everyone for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.